Hi, welcome to ElimuHub. This tutorial is an introduction to probability. So what is probability? Is how likely something is to happen. So sometime you might hear someone saying a chance of something happening. Here there are few keywords which you need to understand. What does roll mean? Roll means if you roll a die, for example, a die as a single, dice is plural. If you throw a dice, you could say, I roll a die. What does flip mean? Flip is throwing a coin. So I flip a coin. Event, what does event mean? Well, event is an action. So if you flip a coin, that is an event. If you decide to throw the coin twice, that is two events. An outcome would be if you flip a coin, what can you get? You could get a tail or you could get the head. So that will be your outcome. Or for example, if you roll a die, the outcome could be getting a number 1 or an even number, a prime number, and so on. Fair, what does fair mean when we talk about probability? Well, fair means something that does not favor any of the outcome. So for example, if you have a die that has 6 sides, it doesn't favor any of the numbers 3, 6 or anything. That means it's a fair die. Whereas perhaps if you were to throw it and most of the time you get a 6, then that die could be a biased one. Okay. So how do we calculate probability? Well, you need to understand this simple formula. Well, probability is number of ways something can happen divided by the total number of outcomes. So for example, if you flip a coin, you can get a tail or head. So in total, you have 2 outcomes. But if you want to calculate probability of, by the way, we use these brackets, probability of getting a tail. Well, there's only one chance of getting a tail. So this is equal number of ways it can happen. There's only one way you can get a tail if you flip a coin. And the total number of ways, well, there's tail and head, 2. So probability is 1 out of 2. If you had a die, if you roll a die, you could say, what's the probability of getting an even number? So even number. Well, how many even numbers are there on a die? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there's 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. There's 3. So number of ways it can happen is 3. But in total, how many ways are there? Well, there are 6 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 out of 6. If you simplify that, also you will get a half. Well, you need to understand probability scale. Probability starts from 0 and maximum of 1. So halfway, we say 0.5. And obviously halfway between 0 and 0.5 is 0.25. And halfway between 0.5 and 1 is 0.75. So we can use this probability scale to describe probability. Okay, what does 1 mean? If we say something has chance of 1 happening, that means it is certain it's going to happen. Certain. 0 chance of happening, we say is impossible. How about here, halfway? For example, if I have a coin, I have a half chance of getting a tail or the head, we say we have an even chance. So 50% or half, even chance. And halfway between impossible and even is unlikely. And likewise, you will get likely. So the more you get towards to 1, that means there is more chance that event will happen. Right, so we can use decimals to represent probability. We can also use fractions, so we could have 0, a quarter there, a half, 3/4, and obviously a 1. We can also use percentages to represent probability. So again, 0% or 0.25 is 25%. Half, 50% chance of happening. 3/4 is 75% chance of happening. And obviously 1 is 100% chance of happening. So we cannot have a probability of more than 100% or more than 1. Okay. Well, let's just have a sort of an example here that use the words, the description of probability. Well, Geeta has this spinner and is labeled 3, 4, 5, 6. What is her chance of spinning the number in the box below? Match each box to the correct word. So this is describing probability. Well, we've got odd, 2, and number less than 1. Well, first one is done for us. What's the chance of having an odd number? Well, there are 4 numbers and there are 2 odd numbers. So we have 2 out of 4, which gives us a half, 50% chance, which means it's even. Well, let's look at number 2. Number 2. Do we have number 2 on our spinner? No. So that is impossible. A number less than 10. Well, everything here is less than 10. So I would say certain. It's definitely going to get one of those, which is less than 10. Okay. Here's an example. I've got a dice, by the way. Like I say, dice is a plural, but people do tend to say dice. Otherwise, it's just a die. D-I-E. A fair dice is rolled. What is the probability of rolling is 6? Well, how many sides are there on a dice? There are 6 sides, so you have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I can only see 1 6, so the probability of getting a 6, number of ways I can get a 6 is just 1. So probability of getting a 6 is equal to 1, and the total number of ways I can get something is 6, so it's 1 out of 6. B, probability of getting a 3. There's only 1 3, so it's 1 out of 6. C, 2 or 3. Well, there's only 2 of them, 2 or 3, so I'm going to have to count one of those 2. Doesn't matter if I get 2 or 3, they are both acceptable. So probability of getting 2 or 3, well, there's 2 of them, so it's 2 out of 6. You can simplify and get 1/3. D, even number. So probability of getting an even number. Well, how many evens? 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 6. Well, even number. I have an even chance of getting an even number, which is half, 50%. You can say that. And the last one, number greater than 2. So probability number is greater than 2. Well, I have a 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 4 numbers that are greater than 2. So 4 out of 6, and that is 2/3. And our last example, a bag contains 3 red balls, so 3 red. I'm going to write here 3 red and 2 greens and 4 whites. What is the probability of picking a red ball? So probability of getting a red ball. Well, how many balls are there altogether? We need to count them. So 3 plus 2, 5 plus 4, 9. In total, there are 9 balls. I have 9 chances of getting a ball. But how many? So that goes as a denominator. How many red balls are there? Well, there's only 3. So that's 1/3. B. What's the probability of getting white or green? White or green? Well, how many whites are there? Well, in total, to start with, there are 9. So I put my 9 there before I forget. White or green, together they make 6 balls. So 6 out of 9. So I have 2/3 chance of getting either a white or green ball. And C, what's the probability? A ball is not white. So not white. Well, I know not white. I just have to count these 2. So 3 plus 2, which is 5. Denominator, total number of balls is 9. And I have 5 balls which are not white. So 5 out of 9.